There's a moment that happens in a conversation when something shifts. She stops giving the answer she usually gives and actually stops to think. Maybe she laughs a little, maybe she goes quiet for a second, and then she says something like, "Wow, nobody's ever asked me that before." That moment is not an accident. It's not luck. It's the result of asking a different kind of question. Before we get into it, where are you watching from? Drop your city below. I'm curious how far this reaches today. Here's what most people get wrong about connection. They think it's built through impressive stories, through confidence, through being the most entertaining person in the room. But entertainment fades fast. What doesn't fade is the feeling of being understood. And that feeling isn't created by talking more. It's created by asking better questions and then actually listening to the answer. Think about how most people move through their day. They get looked at, they get small talk, they get asked the same three questions over and over. What do you do? Where are you from? How's your week going? Nobody's really asking anything that requires a real answer. So when someone finally does, it stands out. Not because it's clever, because it's rare. That's what these 7 questions are built around. Not tricks, not scripts, just genuine curiosity, structured in a way that opens up real conversation instead of small talk that goes nowhere. Stay with me, because number 5 is the one that changes the entire tone of a conversation the moment you ask it. Every one of us has had that experience of talking to someone and feeling like we're performing, saying the version of ourselves we think the other person wants to hear instead of just being honest. It happens because most conversations don't create the space for anything else. Nobody's asked a question that invites something real, so we default to the polished, safe version of our own story. The questions I'm about to give you do the opposite. They create an opening. And when someone feels that opening, they tend to walk through it, not because you push them, but because most people are quietly waiting for someone to actually ask. Let's get into them. Question 1. What's something about your life right now that would surprise people who only know you casually? This question works because it separates the public version of someone from the private one. Almost everyone has a gap between how they're perceived and how they actually feel. Busier than they look, more uncertain than they act, more content than their circumstances would suggest, or the opposite. When you ask this, you're signaling that you're not satisfied with the surface-level version. You want the real one, and most people have an answer ready. They just haven't had a reason to say it out loud in a while. Ask it, then wait. Don't fill the silence. The pause is where the real answer forms. Question 2. What's a belief you used to hold really firmly that you don't anymore? This one goes straight past hobbies and job titles into something more interesting: how a person has actually changed. Everyone has had a shift in how they see something, whether it's about relationships, work, family, or just how they see themselves. Asking this tells the other person you're interested in their growth, not just their resume. And answering it requires a bit of reflection, which naturally slows the conversation down into something more real. That shift in pace is often when actual connection starts. Question 3. When do you feel the most like yourself? Not what do you do for work, not where did you grow up. This is about a feeling. The moments when someone isn't performing, isn't managing anyone's expectations, just existing as themselves. The answer could be anything. Running early in the morning, cooking alone with music on, a specific friendship, a creative project nobody else knows about. Whatever it is, you're getting a glimpse of what makes them feel most alive. And people remember who asked them to reflect on that. Question 4. What's something you're proud of that most people never ask about? Most compliments people receive are about things that are visible, how they look, what they've achieved publicly. This question goes after something quieter, a private accomplishment, a moment they pushed through something hard with no audience. When someone answers this honestly, they're handing you something they usually keep to themselves. That's a small act of trust, and small acts of trust are how real conversations are built, one at a time. Question 5. This is the one that changes everything. What do you actually need more of in your life right now? This is the question that shifts the entire tone of a conversation because it moves past interests and stories into something closer to how someone is actually doing. Maybe the answer is rest. Maybe it's creative space, or deeper friendships, or just quiet. Whatever it is, this question asks someone to be honest about their current state instead of the version they present to the world. Here's the part that matters most. When someone answers this, your job isn't to fix it, offer advice, or turn the conversation back to yourself. Your job is to actually listen. That's it. Because the moment someone feels truly heard, not advised, not fixed, just heard, the entire dynamic of the conversation changes. People remember who listened. They forget who talked. Question 6. If you could tell yourself something 5 years ago, what would it be? This one invites someone to look backward, not with regret necessarily, but with perspective. You'll often hear about a lesson learned the hard way, a decision that mattered more than it seemed at the time, or a version of themselves they've since grown out of. What makes this powerful is that you're not just hearing about who they are now, you're hearing about the process that got them here. And when someone shares that, they're letting you see more of their story than most people ever get access to. Question 7. What does a genuinely good day look like for you? Not a perfect one, just a good one. This is a grounding question to close on because it brings the conversation back to something simple and honest. Not a dream vacation, not a fantasy, just an ordinary good day. The answer reveals what someone actually values day to day. Quiet or energy, people or solitude, structure or spontaneity. It's a small question with a lot packed into it, and it tends to end a conversation on a warm, human note rather than a heavy one. So here they are again. What's something about your life that would surprise people who only know you casually? What's a belief you used to hold that you don't anymore? When do you feel most like yourself? What's something you're proud of that people never ask about? What do you actually need more of right now? What would you tell yourself 5 years ago? What does a genuinely good day look like for you? None of these require confidence, charm, or a perfect delivery. They just require actually wanting to know the answer, and then listening when you get it. That's the whole thing. That's what makes someone feel seen instead of just observed. If this was useful, let me know in the comments which question you're going to try first, and follow for more breakdowns on communication and connection that go past the surface-level advice you've probably already heard 100 times. Talk soon.